Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's Team TV, baby, the winner of Survivor Cagayan Season 28. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'll be listening to you guys from my spy shack. I hope you put on a great show like you always do. Peace.
Hey everybody, this is Dwaine.
And this is David.
And we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Tonight is our recap and discussion of episode 13, Let's Make a Move. Good episode, David.
That's got a parody to it. It's got to have a parody to it.
Well, the next parody we need to do is It's All About That Brat. About that brat. That's what we need to do. But anyway, so hello to all of you watching live. Thank you for hanging around. We started 15 minutes late. I guess we made up for the other Sunday night when we started 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not good not to. Yeah.
Which was your idea, which was good, but this late was my fault and it was bad, so I apologize.
Yeah, we really apologize for starting late. That's not good on our part. And then once we got on here, my computer was being a
a whiny little baby?
Yes. So special episode Sunday night, my friends. No listener feedback show. Do not send us listener feedback. If you do, we'll respond and say thanks for the feedback, but we will not be airing it.
The listener feedback has already started. It's on our Facebook page.
Yes. Go to our Facebook group. And post your feedback on there. Let's all talk about it. Facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. But Sunday night is a special episode. It is our 200th episode.
Woohoo!
I know, it's pretty awesome. 200th episode, we have special guests. We have Matt the Beard.
Mm-hmm. One of our favorites.
We have, Andy Baker.
One of our friends.
For the first time ever on the podcast, we have Jeff Pittman from True Dork Times.
Hello.
Yep. And we might have Michael Snow.
Snowy
has not responded. Well, he's responded. He has to check and make sure and everything like that. So we asked Scoopin, but Scoopin said he would, but he hadn't watched a single episode. Can you believe that?
He said, "What show are y'all talking about again?" So.
Yes. What show? What was that? Anyway, Sunday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, live. You can get on the chat room and watch live at Survivor or stwdd.com/live. That's where also you can watch this. And we have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun on our 200th episode. And we're not going to spend the 200th episode talking about how awesome we are or how great the show is or anything like that. We're going to talk about the upcoming finale.
I think.
All right?
Yeah, I think Scoopin thinks they stopped filming after Philippines. I don't think he thought they were going to film anymore.
I don't know. He watched Cagayan. He enjoyed that one a lot. So, hello everybody in the chat room. We got a lot of people in there right now, and they're all chatting away. So, welcome to the chat room. Makes it all the more fun. I tell you what, Sunday's episode, Sunday didn't have an episode. Thursday's episode, Wednesday's episode.
There you go.
Wow. That's right. We were nominated Best Entertainment Podcast. Was really a good episode, David, and it's going to be fun to talk about if I can find my notes. What did I do with my notes?
I got them. They're right here.
Oh, no, David, I can't find my notes.
Yes, we were nominated for Best Podcast.
I am not kidding. My notes are gone. This is absolutely horrible. David, talk.
Okay, I'm going to talk.
Tell them about Amazon.
Amazon is this website where you buy stuff, but you want to go to our Facebook group, which is on a page on the internet, but it is a Facebook group. And use our Amazon link, please, to support us. It pays for the podcast. That's all it does. It doesn't pay us because we don't get paid. We do this because we love it, and we love you guys, and love talking with you online and all that in the chat room and all that great stuff. But we use the Amazon support that you all give us to pay for the podcasts.
That's right.
Unfortunately, it's not free. The interweb is not free.
That's right. All right, David, I'm going to have to print this again, so I will edit this out of the audio podcast. Those of you listening on audio, see you in just a second. Those of you on video,
how you doing?
I am printing my thing again. This is ridiculous. It was just in here. This is absolutely crazy.
So you're going to edit this part out of the audio?
I haven't edited out of the audio, yeah.
All right, I want to tell you why I was late.
Well, I have to go.
Well, I'll tell the group while I was late, the chat room group.
Yeah, all right, I'll be right back.
Okay. With Bailey being older now, we watch older movies, and not terribly bad movies, but she'd never seen the movie Seven, and she's a big Kevin Spacey fan. And if y'all listen to our movie podcast we do with Dwayne's brother Zach, you heard me mention that Seven is one of the top 10. So we watched Seven.
Ow, that hurt.
Unfortunately, we started Seven 10 minutes later than we should have, and I could not miss the end and watch the reaction. So hold on, you can tell me about your pain in a second. I apologize, I was late 10 minutes from watching the end of Seven with Bailey and her friend from college.
Oh, really? You put family before the podcast?
Dude, it was Kevin Spacey, Brad Pitt, and Morgan Freeman out in the desert. Yes, I'm sorry. Just for 10 minutes, so I apologize.
All right. Well, we've been back on audio for a few seconds now. I just almost yanked my in-ears out of my ears. Sorry for that. These were on my bed the whole time.
Oh, you silly you.
I know. All right. As David said, thank you for using our Amazon link for Christmas. You can also support us at stwdd.com/support. Helps me get my paper in the right spot at the right time.
Oh, yeah. Every penny counts.
By the way, I finally got another Fiverr gig, another voice gig.
Oh, cool.
The guy's from the UK, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So he sends me this script, and one of the lines in it is, you can then access the service via an app on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And later on it says, and type the customer's mobile number. Well, he didn't bother to tell me that in the UK they say via and mobile.
Mobile, yeah.
So I sent him, I sent him my voice thing.
Mm-hmm.
I had recorded it, sent it to him. And he goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, here in the UK we pronounce certain words correctly." I said, "Not a problem." And I said via and mobile.
So over here we hire British voices because they sound more pristine. Over there they hire American voices to make themselves feel better.
I don't know what. Yeah. See these stupid Americans. Well, that's not.
Can't even say mobile.
They don't. Yeah.
Nadia's not over there. No.
Yeah. The stupid Americans. No, but anyway, hey, I think 2 gigs away from getting to level 1. I've done 8 projects for people. It's pretty fun.
Wow. Cool.
Fiverr.com with 2 R's /Dwayne Stroud. David, my initial thoughts on this episode. First of all, my initial thought was, what a great plan that worked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any initial thoughts? Did you even take notes?
Well, kind of. I'm gonna. What did they say? Allow someone to take your place. What do you? I forget what you said. The government, when they do that in the House, I'm gonna give my 5 minutes to the other person. I'm gonna give my first initial thought or initial reaction to Terry's cousin Deanie, who posted on our Facebook page what her initial reaction was.
Yes. All right.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. Seriously?
It's a professional wrestler. His name's Daniel Bryan, and that's his thing. He goes out and just says yes, and the crowd goes nuts over it. And Deanie's first reaction was, to John being blindsided, was yes. And she said that's the Daniel Bryan yes. So that's what she was referring to on our Facebook page. She put it on there immediately. That's how I could just see her running around her house, putting her hands up, saying yes all the way around the house.
Awesome. Awesome.
So what's your second one?
Natalie has earned major respect from me. In fact, I put on Twitter today, Natalie, maybe she's listening, by the way. Natalie, if you could be on our show, we would be groveling at your feet right now, because you made your efforts today and last week made for excellent episodes. Finally, some really good strategy going on. You manipulated Keith, or you at least controlled Keith. You got Missy and Baylor. Way to go, Natalie. So there you go.
My personal initial reaction or initial thought was a Natalie two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
One was, gosh, I hope I didn't just forget it. Well, one thing was, if you really look back, go back and watch, the way she talks in front of the whole group is very humble, very appreciative, very, you guys you only told me one time. You didn't tell me. You didn't guide me. You didn't tell me what to do. But one-on-one, she's very strategic.
Yes.
She's very cerebral. She knows what she wants, and she goes after it. Oh, I know what my other part was. The part A was, if Natalie's in the final, I think she just won the game.
Oh,
if she makes the final, I absolutely think she just won the game, because she's not, she's got enough trust of people that she's going to say, look, this was mine. I did this, and she's going to claim it. And who can argue with her? Because I think what we're down to now are 3 goats and 2 possible winners. How many times do we get down to the final 5 and we got so many people that really, really don't have a shot to win? If one of the other, if all 3 goats go in there, that would be interesting.
Well, I'm not. I mean, are you calling Keith someone who might have earned the win? Because I think if Keith wins, he kind of goated himself in there too. He didn't really do anything.
I wouldn't call him a goat, so to speak, because he's not somebody that's going to go in and get absolutely no votes. I don't think Jacqueline gets a vote except John's. I just don't think she's earned anything in anybody's eyes. I don't think Baylor would get much of any support unless Missy's there, maybe Natalie. But overall, I don't think she would, and I don't really think Missy could beat Keith or Natalie. I think if Keith or Natalie are in there alone, each one would win. I think Keith's done enough to survive. If he's there with Missy and Baylor, which is what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I lost David.
I think he wins. I still got you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Well, how convenient for you that you get Natalie and Keith in the final, or that one of them will probably win. How nice for you, David.
It's blessed, yes.
Yes, whatever. So anyway, I love her cover story. I love how she planned to get John out. I love how she managed Keith successfully. And then, of course, props to Baylor for managing her mom. Props go to Baylor for that as well.
Yes, a better episode for Baylor this week. I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I was wondering if Natalie's won more individual immunity challenges this season than she's won legs in the Amazing Race over 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, probably.
Yeah, I didn't get to look that up, but I don't know. I don't remember them winning a legs. And second time, I think they were out first. So.
Yeah. So immediately Natalie starts to cover her tracks, which is exactly what we talked about with Steve last week, was that if Natalie can get everybody and get her cover story going and get everybody to buy into it, she would be fine, and it worked. She really covered her tracks. And I have a little clip here of what Baylor had to say about all that.
It's hilarious watching Natalie be an actress toward John and Jacqueline tonight, because if they were smart, they would know Natalie knew exactly what she was doing.
It's fine. Tribal was a little bit of a debacle. I guess we didn't talk enough going into it, and Natalie didn't fully understand who she was voting for. It's unfortunate that it happened here because Keith really is a threat in immunity challenges. I mean, that's a big, big deal. Like, that potentially could screw up a lot of plans.
Yeah, guess what? It did screw up your plan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is funny because right when we got there, Jacqueline's first thought was, did Alec vote himself out?
Yeah, I know. That was hilarious. Did Alec vote for himself?
I'm surprised Natalie was able to hold it together and say, no, I did it. But what I found interesting was when Natalie starts explaining it to Missy and Jacqueline, Baylor's right there. And Baylor turns and walks away, as in, I'm going to start laughing because I know everything is wrong. So, I was looking to see if Missy followed Baylor and like, where are you going? But she didn't. She was just glued to Natalie. And you're right. And Steve was right. She did a great damage control. She covered herself. Like, once again, she said, I even read it down. She goes, you told me, Keith, you guys didn't check back in with me. Like, you guys didn't talk to me. I'm just here to do whatever you guys want me to do. And you didn't do that. You didn't cover me. And they're like, it's okay, Natalie. It's okay. You messed up pretty big, but it's okay. We're still fine. Yeah. The 5 are still tight. You wouldn't do anything wrong.
We still trust you.
That's right.
Yeah.
We still trust you to vote for us the $1 million when you're on the jury.
That's right. Oh, man, I think I messed up my earphones.
Oh,
because they're starting to crackle on me. These are $600 earphones, man. I use these things at church. These are my in-ears.
that's not a
Not really earphones. They're alien ears. It's what the professionals use, like, the guys you see in concerts.
You shouldn't have admitted it messing them up while you're not at work. You can.
I paid for them.
Oh, okay.
I paid for them.
Okay.
So anyway, I was in the living room watching, and Jacqueline said, "Did Alec vote for himself?" And I heard the SCA 9000.
Are you serious, you idiot?
From the other room.
But it from the other room. But it was so good. It was like Steve said, they're going to buy it, and Baylor confirmed it. They're so dumb. They bought the whole thing.
Yeah. John says it. Natalie's plan screwed up his plan. She outplayed him. Way to go, Natalie, coming back to camp. I mean, I honestly don't think she could have played it any better way, and Baylor nailed it on the head. If they were smart, they would know. But
right.
And you know what? We'll hear this later. You made a comment that Jacqueline won't get any credit for anything. That's because every time Jacqueline has a good idea or a good thought or a good intuition, she tells John, and John says, nah. And so Jacqueline has been behind John this whole time, trying to get him to play smart, and he's not playing smart. So I think if she had been left alone on this, if she hadn't had John there, she would have been a much better player without John.
Like every other episode, she says something that he could use or somebody could use, and it just like you said, it goes to John and it stops. It doesn't go any further.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. The next day, Natalie starts her gameplay with Keith. I want to tell you something. I really liked how Natalie handled Keith this entire episode.
This is the other side of Natalie. This is the private one-on-one Natalie. By the way, I saved you, just so you know, because me and Missy and Baylor want you. We want you with us. So if you're on board with that, you mean prom and king, queen over there and beauty pageants, people? Yeah. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
And you're right. I love the way Natalie handled this. She just went to him and said, "Hey, buddy, we want you with us," pretty much. And Keith's response is, "Wow, after 33 days, I got a friend. I didn't think I'd ever have another friend."
Yeah. And then in her confessional, she even says Keith is unpredictable. Yeah. So she knows that he's messed up other plans in the past, and she's playing them really great. And she's talking about getting John out. And I literally sat on my couch and said, "Great, John's not going home," because usually when they set us up with this kind of thing, that doesn't actually happen.
Yeah.
This time they set us up for something, and it actually happened.
Right.
Those
I was
blasted editors.
I didn't take notes when I watched last night because I thought I'd get a chance to watch again. I didn't, but I did jot down every once in a while. I jotted something down, and what I wrote was, "What did we not hear in Keith and Natalie's conversation?" And to me, it's important because we always hear it when people are trying to get people on their side. And maybe they just didn't show it to us because it might not be in the game, but we never heard Natalie say, "Final three. Me, you, and somebody else." She never promised anything. She just said, "We want to get out John, and we want you to come be with us."
Right.
So she's basically saying final four, but she didn't make a final three deal with Keith that we heard. Right. And she's right about Keith. He, in a conversational piece, he may not be the best person to rely on, but I think when you ask him to vote for somebody and he gives you his word, he's voting for that person. He's loyal to the vote, but yes, untrusting when it comes to keeping the conversation straight.
Yeah, which she addresses later on in the show. Yeah, he's going to vote the way you want him to, but he may freak out during tribal council. But like you said, she addresses it. Yes. Now, Fly 9876, I think her name is Tina. She says on our chat room she has to get rid of Keith fast. Absolutely.
Oh, Natalie Keith has to be first.
Yeah, yes. Natalie needs to get rid of Keith, and then keep Missy and Baylor with her, get out Jacqueline, and she's got it. She's got this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been kind of taunting people on our Facebook group that, things always come back to bite people, like Josh keeping Baylor, and she ended up not helping him, and now Natalie kept Keith, and if she doesn't get rid of him this time, he could win the Final Four immunity and vote her out. Right. He might actually know she could win. So.
Right. The same person also said that she thinks John is Dumb and Dumber. I'm not so sure John was as dumb as he was just gullible, too trusting, you know. So
he didn't have the cutthroat type mentality to play this game, in my opinion.
No.
He was very trusting. He wanted to trust. He loved the family idea, but he just took it all in.
That's right.
You know.
All right, hey, if you're listening to this show, but you don't like get on and watch the Survivor Challenge previews and stuff, then you may not know that the reward challenge was designed by a 12-year-old boy who, I believe, this was his Make-A-Wish Foundation wish.
Yeah.
Is that right? He wanted to be able not to be there, not to do anything but pitch an idea to CBS for a challenge. And CBS loved the challenge. It was a really good challenge. And not only did they do that, but they let him come out to the filming of it. So he was there getting to watch it, which I think is awesome. And so props to the 12-year-old boy. Why not tell us about it on the show? Why not give props to the kid? You know, get the kid on the air. That'd be awesome. But anyway,
I love the
12-year-old
challenge.
boy.
I thought it was a great challenge.
However, when I watched the preview of the challenge and they did the whole teeter-totter thing, I said, that's a broken bone waiting to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt on that.
But certainly not a pageant queen who walks runways all the time. I couldn't imagine she'd fall every time the teeter-totter went down.
That's a hard thing to do, though, David.
Oh, I'm not doubting it. I'm not doubting it. But my thought was, good thing she's not carrying the water.
Right. Right. That's true. So I thought it was a pretty dangerous challenge, but it was good. And they're playing for a spa. Now I got to tell you something, David. This is one of the better rewards. I believe last week I even said, why can't they do a spa reward?
You did, because we remember Tony's spa reward, how good, and we got strategy from it.
Yes.
And I posted pictures from the reward on our Facebook group just a little hour or two ago. Man, that food looked incredible. Oh,
yeah.
It looked so good.
Yeah. And what all food was there, David?
There were like chicken and bacon wraps.
Uh-huh.
There were salad wraps. There were some goobers on the end of some pile of food.
Which goobers to me is chocolate-covered peanuts, but go ahead.
Yes, I certainly hope so. There was, what else did you say? Steak and brownies. Steak and brownies.
Yes.
Cookies. Always cookies. There were pineapple-tipped drinks, and there were three women that didn't speak English, but it didn't matter because they had food and drink.
And they had thumbs.
Oh, yeah. But like Keith said, hey, I'm not into all the spa stuff. That's a woman thing. But if there's food, it's a man thing.
Yeah. We are really jumping ahead. But also on the table, they had feet. Very stinky feet.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. You know, that was some really good food. Did you have to put your feet up there by it?
Well, they probably didn't even wash their hands.
There's a couch over there. You could have put your foot on the couch.
Keith checked her feet. He was touching
her feet, you know. How's that? Now, I ain't no doctor, but if I push on it, does it hurt? Oh, that ain't good. That ain't good. Now, let's eat some of this stuff. All right. So, Keith, so this is what I wrote down for a Keith whenever Probst announced the spa. Keith's sitting there going, I don't know what it is, but I need it.
Yeah, a spa. A spa. We don't have too many of those in Louisiana.
Man, I'm not sure what it is we're gonna win, but I bet I'm gonna want it.
He said steak and brownies. I'm there for that.
Yeah. So you got Keith, Missy, and John versus Natalie, Baylor, and Jacqueline, and my thought was there is no possible way that one team is going to lose to the other team. It seemed rather lopsided to me, but it didn't end that way.
Well, ironically enough, the catch-up was the puzzle. You know, for anybody. Yeah. It could be no matter who's ahead or who's behind. If you get a good person on the puzzle, you got a chance to win.
Well, I didn't think Keith, Missy, and John had a chance in the world. You know? And at the beginning, Natalie, Baylor, and Jacqueline, they, you know, they're way ahead.
Yeah.
But like you said, in the puzzle. And Missy, you know, either breaks or sprains her ankle. And as soon as, okay, when you're at the puzzle, if I'm doing this puzzle, they figured out it was blood versus water pretty quickly.
Well, right? Natalie yelling it probably helped too.
Yeah, yeah. So they figured that pretty quickly. I'm putting the verses in the very middle of the thing
Yeah.
and working my way out,
Mhm.
rather than starting with blood on the far end. You
Yeah.
know, start in the middle because you know that they're going to center it, but you don't know how wide it is. So start in the middle and work your way out.
Yep. Here's what I. Yep. Gotcha. Here's what I'm doing. I'm putting the puzzle person in the middle and telling the other person to get on the other side and hand them whatever they tell you to hand them. Because John was the puzzle person, but he was on the outside, which didn't matter as much, which was good, though, because he had to slide the whole puzzle thing over because he had to push it all over. Whereas Jacqueline had to do it, and hers wasn't as easy. But Missy, Baylor, and Natalie were both trying to do the puzzle and practically fighting over it.
Yeah.
Whereas John, I mean, Missy and Keith were talking, but they were handing. And John was saying, "Oh, we gotta do this, gotta do this." They were letting John do the talking, and it worked.
Right.
You know, and that's why I love group puzzles. Not one person do the puzzle for the team. I like group puzzles. Make them work as a team or not work as a team.
Yeah. Also, another thing that they did incorrectly, because after all, I was sitting in my living room telling them how to do it correctly. You know, is if you need to move 12 pieces of wood across, move like 1 or 2 at a time instead of trying to get all 12 of them to move.
No, you don't move all the 1x4s at once.
No, you don't. You go very fast.
Yes.
Or fastly. All right. So KMJ win. Probst trying to stir things up. After they win, right, they're all standing over there, and Probst decides to try to stir things up.
I mean, a spa day for her is going to completely rejuvenate her. She's going to feel as young as she looks. So.
John, you're annoying right now.
Oh, thanks.
Jacqueline, do you kind of feel like maybe you deserve it?
I think we all think we deserve it. It's been 33 days.
Just checking.
Yeah.
You said John annoyed you.
Well, yeah, because he's all happy right now, so it's pissing me off.
Did I say I was going to go?
Probst, I'm just checking.
Yeah, I'm just asking because you kind of rolled your eyes there for a second. So just checking.
I just sensed maybe some tension.
Or maybe I could stir some up.
And then John's like, you're messing me up. I was going to do this great move, and now you're messing it up. Come on, Jacqueline. We're going to be alone together.
You know what Jacqueline's problem was?
At the camp of love. What?
Jacqueline, he's never said anything like that to me.
Yeah,
and he
really.
says it to Mother Missy.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the girlfriend over here on the losing side.
All right, so John gives his reward to Baylor because, after all, she hasn't been on enough reward challenges.
And after all, not the whole winning team gets to go on reward. Somebody has to trade out. Not everybody gets to go. It wouldn't be San Juan del Sur unless somebody gave up the reward.
I don't believe there's ever been a season with this many, I don't want reward. Yeah. I'm going to give it to them.
Or anybody fighting to go to Exile Island.
Yes. I want to go. No, I want to go to Exile.
No,
I want to go to Exile. Natalie, I'll go. No, I'm going. Natalie, please.
Natalie, come back. No, I'm already gone.
Oh my.
I know, it's seriously crazy.
You know what it was? Natalie read Andy Baker's Dozen and said, you know what? I was wrong last time to let John go. I should go to this time, so I'm going to go.
Okay. I think Natalie was like, I need an idol.
Yeah,
there's bound to be one there.
Well, yeah, that was the point of last week. She should have never let him go because he got the idol. He was first one to go after the idol was played. So
now, this almost backfired on our friend Natalie. I hope she's our friend. I hope she'll come on the show. Her and Nadia. Of course, they won't come on separate.
Nope.
But it almost backfired on her because if John would have listened to Jacqueline, then it would have backfired on her.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, that little bit of time where they were talking together was probably the only really time they talked strategy. The rest of it was the camp of love. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did write down something about that. Well, that's right. We haven't got the Exile yet. So after Spa Day, it goes to camp, and John didn't need the spa.
We're not even to the spa yet, dude.
Oh, we've covered the spa and the challenge. Okay, where you're talking about when John and Jacqueline were at camp.
We jumped ahead to the spa, but in the show we haven't gotten to the spa yet.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about John and Jacqueline talking strategy.
Oh, I was. They showed that. Okay. No, they didn't. Sorry.
I'm
Spa.
just following my notes and your notes.
Spa. Pineapple. Yum.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I love me some fresh pineapple. Yeah.
Did you expect any strategy at this spa?
Well, no.
No,
Because Missy hurt her foot, and so that's going to be the center of attention.
Oh yeah, but I mean it's Missy and Baylor. They don't need to talk, and
Yeah.
it's Keith who they don't have in their group, so there's nothing to talk
That's
about.
true. Plus,
And
Keith doesn't really talk a lot of strategy unless you bring it up.
Yeah, he's not going to bring it up, right? So there's just a lot of ooh and ah.
Yeah.
But this was funny that we had this spa day because Amazing Race just had a spa day like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. That was hilarious. Really, really funny.
Right. Go ahead, say something else, David.
So then after, can we leave the spa? I'm ready to leave the spa.
Are you ready to leave the spa, David?
Not until you make the noises. Go ahead.
Nah, I ain't never been in a spa before, but it's pretty awesome.
But don't show this to anybody. I don't want anybody in my fire department to give me a hard time about this. So this isn't going on the air, right?
Right. Now, I don't know why there's a camera on the floor in front of me, but don't let my fireman buddies see this. Oh my gosh! That's a bone or something.
Yeah, are they finding knots on your back? I think that might be my rib cartilage, my bones. They're not knots. That's me.
Ooh. Oh man, that was a crazy kid. It was funny. Was Baylor's camera angle from that angle, from underneath to the face, looked really good.
Mhm.
Keith's looked awkward, much like mine just did. If you're watching this.
It was the hole was made for her size face. It fit through. It didn't push or anything.
But I actually think this is what's going to happen. Keith is going to go, all right, guys, y'all are laughing at me, but I hired 10 lady masseuses to come in, and we're going to all lay on the tables, and I'm going to let you see how good it feels. And then they're all going to get massages.
But first we're going to go 33 days without showering and then see what it feels like.
Well, no, they showered before the spa. And to be honest with you, that's probably just for the spa ladies.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine
the
first time they rubbed up on your back and they're going with all the dirt?
They're getting the window scrapers out and straighten you off first. Because Keith looks like George Clooney when he gets out of the shower.
Yeah. Christine, I agree with you. I wish we had seen strategy talk, but I don't think there was any talk at all.
I don't either because there's no Tony. I mean, Tony went with two people. Who did he go with? Spencer and Jeremiah. So he was kind of working with Jeremiah, and Spencer he was working on. So there was plenty to talk about with those guys.
Well, if Natalie had gone on the reward, there would have been strategy talk. And if John had gone on the reward, there might have been some, just not with Keith around. Which I don't even know if that's even possible. Weed Bay guy is admiring my stunning observations on the chat room. He says Baylor is better looking than Keith. Duh. Yeah. All right, back at camp. This is where we get Jacqueline trying to give John fair warning. Do you think this was women's intuition or just Jacqueline being smarter than John?
Probably both. Yeah, I did jot down notes on this that she knows she told Natalie Keith. And to me, that should be right because if John's keeping a scorecard, he should catch on that Jacqueline's been pretty spot on with a few things that he's just kind of pushed off.
Right.
But that was a big mistake, and John's going to bring that up to the jury.
Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah. Why are you going to bring that up to the jury? And then Jacqueline even goes so far as to say, maybe her and Keith had something going on. So maybe she's stop. She can play something or.
Yeah, well, no, go ahead and finish it, and then we'll listen to her say it all.
This kind of bothered me a little bit because we know that even Natalie tells us that Alec had an obsession with John, and that's partly why John wanted to vote out Keith with 3, not 2, because he may have wanted to keep Alec because he could have possibly swooned Alec to John and Jacqueline.
Right.
Instead, Natalie keeps Keith. Not just to keep him on her side, but as a threat against John in the challenges. But it comes off, and I don't mean to offend or say anything mean, but it comes off as if, how dare Natalie have a plan to do anything deceptive. We're the ones that are controlling the game, and I'm thinking, you still think you're the power couple.
Yes.
That's kind of gone to your head. How dare Natalie think about playing some other schemy game when we're the ones that are steering and controlling this game? And I thought, one of you two should probably go home.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens.
Well, again, if John would have just listened to Jacqueline.
Natalie made a big mistake voting for the wrong person, and now you kept in Keith, one of the biggest threats. Can't have that happen, especially when you're fighting for $1 million.
But then in the back of my head, I'm like, maybe her and Keith had something going on. She's really, really threatened by us two paired.
Yeah, so then it's 2 versus 4? I mean, it wouldn't make any sense.
Well, maybe she wants a good pair. Maybe she trusts Keith more than Alex. You know? Maybe she did it on purpose and lied about it. I don't know.
And I don't see Nat flipping. I think our 5 is pretty set.
Yeah.
Like everything Jacqueline said was right.
It is, but it also brings up an interesting point that she's not getting with Keith to make a 2. You guys are thinking that Baylor and Missy are in your back pocket. To me, this is the difference between John and Tony. John is playing for the end game. He's already got his 3 picked out that he wants to take. He's already working on his jury speech. He's not giving anybody else any credit of what they might be doing or up to. You know, and she's kind of helping this. And even though she is right about Natalie working with Keith, they immediately say, well, then Natalie's with Keith to make a twosome, you know, a pairing, a couple. Well, they wouldn't flip on the 4 of, wait a minute, where did Missy and Baylor go? You know, we're supposed to be 4. Where'd they? Oh, they're standing over there with Natalie and Keith. They're never even considering this. And I'm like, this blows my mind that you guys are. This is the difference. Tony didn't play the end game. Tony played every day thinking what every single person was going to do. That day, that tribal, everything. That's what made him so stir crazy in the game. But at the same time, that's how you stay on top of the game. And that's what John totally missed. He never considered that Missy and Baylor might actually be with Natalie. Even though they all walked off arm in arm last week in their reward, never even considered that Natalie could be with Missy, because Natalie, she can't scheme on her own. That's our job. You know, that bugged me just a little bit, as you can probably tell. I'm done. I'll stop now.
That, and apparently, is like Tony in the other room listening. Did he pay you to be his spokesperson tonight? Because you are all over Tony tonight.
Was that good? Was that right? Okay. Thanks, buddy. Okay.
Yeah. Fucking, like every chance you get. You know, Tony. Oh, Tony would have done.
Yo, this is Tony Black.
Yo.
Well, we got one guy saying he's steering and controlling the game and doesn't have a clue, and we got one guy saying he never felt in control and ended up winning the whole season.
Yeah. All right. Natalie goes to Exile Island. She doesn't find an idol. There probably wasn't even a clue. So she's just there alone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's already feeling lonely from from them being away from each other, right? And so now she's alone again.
Yes.
And like nobody there. This was a tough Exile Island for Natalie. So
why didn't we at least get her saying that I found an empty spot. I'm sure John has an idol. We're going to have to keep that in the back of our minds. You know, it's going to be really tricky how we do this.
Well, she knows John has an idol. Don't they?
Oh, I apologize. He sure did. He did say that. So she went there. I don't know why. Then why did she go to Exile Island? You know, if he's already
Maybe
got the
she
idol.
thought they'd put another one out there. I don't
That's
know.
entirely possible. However, I think her going, as horrible as it was, as deflating as it was, I think it actually motivated her, and she came back fired up.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it was what she needed. She goes, I just sitting there with nobody to talk to, nobody to listen to. She focused on Nadia, and this is my return game. I've got to come back and fight for Nadia.
I disagree with you. I think it was the rice.
That broke her up.
I really think, David, that if she hadn't had that rice, she would have came back and quit the game. But because Baylor brought her rice
and said, eat this now.
Eat this now, my young Padawan.
Is this immunity challenge eating rice? Cool. Okay.
Yes. Okay, I've been asked this twice in the chat room. Dwaine, can you imitate Natalie educating Keith on how to play along with the vote and act sad that he is leaving? No, not yet, because we're not there yet. Stop asking.
Yes.
Actually, if you hadn't asked again, I might not have remembered. But remember, I don't have a very good Natalie accent, so But anyway. All right, it's time for the immunity challenge. And it took me a couple of watches to figure out what the hand things were, but I did finally figure them out.
Mm-hmm.
All they were for was to basically help you stay balanced.
Exactly.
They didn't do anything with the... They didn't do anything.
No.
Please don't. No screen caps. Kathy, if you screen cap that, I'm leaving your group. There's no... it doesn't affect the balance.
It almost makes it harder. You know, because when you want to stand and balance yourself, you might grab a safety rail or something on the wall.
Right.
But this is a moving rail. This is not made to help you. I guess it could help you balance. It'll keep you.
Well, no, the handle things do help you because you can pull on them and they help you to stay on the thing for your feet.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously they're not the perfect thing. Yeah.
Well, but if you didn't have them, you wouldn't last 5 seconds on that thing. Have you ever tried to stand on something like that? You go boom all the way to one side super quick.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what I think, David.
Well, it didn't seem to help about 4 people.
Well. All right, so I thought Missy was going to be medevaced. I mean, am I the only one that thought they're about to kick her out of the game?
Well, no, because she even said before then she wasn't quitting. No way she was quitting.
No. I'm not talking about quitting. I thought they were going to take her out. I thought he was going to say, this thing could be broke. We got to take you out or it could get really bad. But he didn't.
I didn't think that.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Not this end of the game. And he even tells later Probst talks about in his commentary later on EW that, you know, unless it's life-threatening, then we will pull. But this late in the game, we're going to give them the choice and see what they want to do about it. Fortunately, Missy's in a great spot. She can sit out challenges.
Yeah. Well, I knew she wasn't going to quit. I just thought they were going to pull her out, but they didn't.
But if you compare what happened to her and what happened to Eric and Caramoan, Eric was out. He was physically out. He could not respond to questions. So, he had to go.
Hey, Eric. Huh? What?
Hey, Cochran, can you pick him up and carry him back to camp?
Yeah.
No, I think he's eliminated. So.
Yeah. No way she could have done that challenge, man.
No.
Anyway, Missy, I'll carry her to the finish line if I have to. Natalie, I'll help you.
My mom's not a quitter.
I will help you. I will help you, Mailer. Now, they showed us this for a reason. Because as Steve Helling says, not only did they let us hear Natalie say, I'll help you, they put it up on the screen.
Subtitles.
I'll help you.
And then they showed John and Jacqueline saying nothing. Because they didn't catch it.
John's like, crud, she said, I'll help you first.
Yeah. I wanted to help Missy. Missy's my mom.
Yeah. All right, so Natalie wins, beating Keith and John, and almost pulls a Dawson.
I wonder if she had more trees supporting her to keep the wind off of her face.
What? Really? You think so?
I think John's partly had a little bit to do with the wind.
Okay. Maybe so. But she almost pulled a Dawson, but she settled for a hug. No kiss, just a hug. And so anyway, back at camp, Natalie playing the game. We got to keep our eyes on Keith. We got to keep our eyes on Keith. Good job.
It's always we. With that group, it's always we. We got to do this. We got to do this.
All right, and here is Natalie talking to Keith.
Tonight, just vote John. I'll tell you, the plan is to split votes. If John plays his idol, we'll vote out Jacqueline. If he doesn't play his idol, we re-vote and vote John, and John goes home. Getting out John at this point would be dream come true.
It's tribal night, and if all goes to plan, Mr. All-American or Miss USA is going home, and I'll be sitting here with 5.
Oh, that's the plan. We're pretending like we're all voting for you. So at tribal, don't act crazy, but just act like, depressed that you're going home.
I think I can trust this bunch. If I can't, I'm a goner.
Yeah. Don't act crazy. Just go with the vote.
See, Reed got too detailed. Reed went into so much more detail, and hers was so precise. Say it again. Just say what you said again.
No, because it was horrible.
No.
Horrible imitation.
Don't act crazy. Just go with the vote. Just vote John.
Yes. Just vote John. Don't do anything crazy, Keith. Just vote John. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Whatever
Don't worry.
Yeah, listen
Don't
to me
worry.
now. Listen to me now. Because apparently Reed went into too much detail and confused Keith. But what I found interesting was I'm pretty sure this is kind of how it happened, that Keith said, well, I can go with Natalie, who came to me with this idea, or I can go with John and Jacqueline, who I don't know what they're doing because they don't ever talk to me.
Right.
So I'll go with the one person that came and talked to me.
Yeah.
But like you said, he didn't have much choice.
Yeah, and it's his only chance.
Right.
You know, I mean, and she's smart to tell him don't go crazy. And I'm sure there was a whole lot more to that. She probably even brought up the whole Reed thing and everything, and just said, look, no matter what I say, no matter what is said, you know this is going on. Now, I personally think his acting skills at tribal council were lacking severely, but of course it was for John and Jacqueline, so it didn't matter.
He did everything but get up and walk out before they even started talking.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I'm sorry. Not time yet, Natalie? Okay.
Is that right, Natalie? Did I say the right thing?
All right, then we have Jacqueline and John. Right after this, we get to see Jacqueline and John again.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a little worried about you not winning. I'm like, what if they all blindside John?
I'm not worried about that. I think if they were going for Keith last time, they're going to go for Keith again.
Keith was supposed to go home last time. So it's like, okay, let's just get it over with. But I feel like your mind just causes all this paranoia. Could I go home tonight? Could John go home tonight? You never know 100%. But at least John still has his idol. I know I'm just being paranoid, but there's a thought in my head that I got. What if they blindside John?
I know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
John is super big on visualizing the win, and it's always worked out for him, so hopefully it does this time too. Love you.
I love you. Again, woman's intuition or just Jacqueline? Look, Jacqueline, next time you come on Survivor, if you do, leave John at home.
Pretty much.
Because everything you thought of was right. You know, part of me is just, what if they do try to blindside you? Oh, they're not going to do that. That wouldn't be nice.
Pretty much. Paranoia causes you to lose sleep, but it might keep you in the game a little bit longer.
Yeah.
This is John just saying, you know what? We're in control here. We're the power couple. They're not going to turn on us. They're not going to vote me out. Not even considering that somebody else is playing the game.
He is naive, David.
Yes.
Naive is the word that I choose. Not dumb, not stupid. Naive. He is naive.
Completely agree. I don't think he's dumb or stupid. He just doesn't see around it.
Right. Speaking of dumb, are you going to see Dumb and Dumber 2?
I'm not spending money on it. No.
Well, how are you going to see it then?
I don't know. Either at the library or somewhere else. But no, I'm not going to go sit in a theater and watch the movie. If you were here, there would probably be more movies that I would see just so we could laugh at it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, I have no plans to see that movie.
All right. And then we get to see Baylor and Natalie in the ocean again, working out the plan. To here. Yeah. You know, Baylor says, me and Mom will vote Jacqueline. You and Keith vote John. And John and Jacqueline will vote Keith. Then it'll be a three-way tie. If John plays his idol, then we vote again and Jacqueline goes home. If John doesn't play his idol, we vote again and John goes home.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect plan as long as they can get Missy and as long as Keith doesn't blow it. So we have to understand that, yes, it worked out, but there was a lot of stuff that had to happen to make it work.
Because Missy could have very, very easily turned and gone to John. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Because it's about loyalty. But see, this is why I didn't think Missy was going to get medevaced, because this scene was in the promo for this week, where she told Natalie it's not going to happen. I mean, it could have been an old scene about a different topic, but yeah, this was I'd remembered this scene. That's why I said no, she can't be leaving.
Okay, well, see, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just, but anyway. So way to go, because not only did they get Missy, but they also kept Keith in line. So this may appear to be, oh well, that wasn't hard to accomplish, but you got to consider this was good gameplay, and it worked out. This is one of those rare occasions when a really good plan actually works.
I think the key to the plan was letting Baylor introduce it.
Yeah.
to her mom instead of just Natalie. Because
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I would, if that's how it happened, just like it did in the edit, then I thought it was pretty smart that it was Baylor, the one person that Missy trusts and wants to win or wants to get to the end, goes to her first.
Right.
And so me and Natalie want to vote out John.
Not only that, but I'm sure that Baylor was the one who spent time with her mom and took care of it. And Natalie, again, and I'm on the Natalie train tonight. Okay, you're on the Tony train. I'm on the Natalie train tonight. Natalie was wise in not trying to push Missy, but letting Baylor handle Missy.
Right.
Way to go. Absolutely way to go. So in fact, I wonder how hard it was to get her mom to change. I have a feeling it was a difficult thing.
It was, but they did give her the easy out in the fact that you're not voting John. You're voting Jacqueline. Yeah. And even if it goes to a tie, the three of us will vote. We'll vote John. You vote Jacqueline. You still never vote for John.
No, that's true. They might have used that. And then she could say, I never voted for John, although she did end up voting for John.
But what did you think about Missy saying, I have a deal with John? We have a deal with John. Baylor said, I do not have a deal with John.
Yes, you do.
No. That's kind of like, okay, there's another couple that's having a separation. Yeah. Interesting.
Yep. All right, tribal council, man.
Yep.
So.
Okay, yeah, Jeff, I'm going. Let me get the question out, Keith.
Yeah. Sorry, I just was looking at my script over here, and it says I'm supposed to act very sad.
No, Keith, that's quiet. Act quiet.
Oh man, hey, I'm loving Keith. All props to Keith, man. He did it well tonight or last night. He played it well. He did well, but his acting, it was almost so different than normal Keith.
Yeah.
That you would have thought John and Jacqueline would have thought, Keith isn't normally this together.
Yeah. It's like he's been coached.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Why is he just so what?
What is he talking about? This five is not easy to crack. What is he? Where would he would never have said that?
He never's used the word crack in his life.
Why does he keep looking down at his hands? And this group is really tight.
Why does Keith keep going, was that right, Natalie?
He's reading lines.
We're being horrible, man.
He's reading lines off the clue that Natalie had. It's that paper.
We're actually using hyperbole to talk about how John and Jacqueline should have noticed that Keith was acting differently than normal. But again, I still think Keith did a great job at Tribal Council. He took Natalie's advice and he trusted her. See, that's the difference. Before, he didn't completely trust Reed, and so when Reed would say stuff, just like you said, Reed probably oversold it. But when Reed would say stuff, Keith would be like, well, maybe I can't trust you. He did the same thing with Jeremy early on in the show. Well, sub alliance, I ain't never heard no sub alliance. It's because he wasn't into trusting people. Now he's in a situation where his only hope is to put all of his trust in what Natalie says. So you might as well just go for it, or go for broke, trust her. And I think that's the key. He trusted Natalie.
I mean, he got to, like you said, they should have caught on, even when he went into the point of, I'm just a man, I'm just a vote. Use me. I will vote where you tell me to vote, which was good in the sense that it made John and Jacqueline might have made him feel that nobody's talked to him. Nobody's told him anything, and he's tried to sell himself, and it just hadn't worked.
Right.
So, yeah, he did do really good this tribal council.
By the way, earlier in the show, you said John and Tony were exact opposites. And Christine in our chat room says, John says in his Ponderosa video that he really liked Tony, but could never play like him. He was the exact opposite.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you
go.
I
agree.
You were spot on, sir.
Thank you.
You were spot on. So Jacqueline made the first of several, her and John. I mean, we only saw a couple of them, but the first comment that was interesting, I don't think we're going anywhere. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of Missy facial expressions here.
Yeah. Then John, I think about that final tribe speech a lot.
I was surprised that Probst actually asked that question. That's almost like a setup, because I guarantee you, if he'd asked Tony, that question.
Really?
I don't know.
Tony again?
I don't know what Tony would have said.
Yo, this is Tony Blanco.
But to me, that's almost that's a bad setup. And John just turns into the big smile of, yeah, I think about it all the time. And the jury's like, oh, give us a chance. Give him to us. Just give him to us now. You know, and they're like, oh, you do not want to even be thinking about final.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's a setup question. You have to be really on top of your game because you have been thinking about your final speech. Right? You and I are out there playing, and we're at final 5 or final 6, and we're thinking what our final speech is. So whenever you're asked that question, you've got to be enough in the game to think, oh, wait, I can't answer that.
Right.
You know? And not only can I not answer it, but I need to be able to say something like, well, I wouldn't presume to work on my final speech because I still have to make it to the end. John didn't do that. John was like, yeah, I think about it all the time.
Yeah, so you compare John, Keith, and Natalie. Keith's not thinking about the final. I can't even imagine Keith has his final 3 picked out. Keith is thinking about who's going to come talk to me about voting so I can vote with them or try to win a challenge, try to win the individual immunity. That's what Keith's thinking about. He's playing day to day because he's in that bad spot. Natalie, I think, is thinking about her resume. She's thinking about her moves. She's thinking about John. She wants to get John out. But she's thinking about her resume and who she wants to sit with at the end. She's thinking about her speech, but only what she can add to it, not what she's already got on it. Whereas John, he's not thinking about Missy or Baylor or Natalie. He knows they're locked in, but only 3 people can go to the end, John, and only one person can win. And you're in a group of 5, and 5 and 3 are different numbers. 2 people got to go. And he's thinking about the end. He's thinking about his speech. He's even talking to Jacqueline about it, but. That's just 3 different people playing 3 different ways, and it's going to catch up to you, especially when Probst makes you admit it.
Yeah. Can you imagine Keith's final talk? There'll be 28 spits, and basically a bunch of I don't know how I got here.
I thought you said
I didn't even know what the show was, but you know what? I made it this far, and y'all didn't, and I must have done something right. And I think y'all should vote for me because Wes needs to get out of the house.
We talked to the jury. I thought you said we couldn't talk to the jury. Wes.
Wait, what? I get to say something right now to them? Wait, but the last 11 councils I wasn't allowed to say anything.
So it's like, Wes, I need votes. Wes, talk to him. I need votes.
I hope Keith doesn't hate us.
No.
We actually like you a lot, Keith.
If he listens.
If he listens. I mean, seriously, we really do like you a lot.
I'm telling you.
It's a fun act to do.
I work with like 2 or 3 keys. I'm related to like 2 or 3 keys, and he cracks me up whenever he talks.
Yeah. All right, let's see. John makes a very, very important statement. Jeff, trust like this is rare. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And non-existent, buddy.
Yes. I was hoping Probst would say, what happens when it's just this 5 you're talking about?
Yeah.
What's going to happen then? If Keith goes tonight, what's going to happen next time?
Right.
And that's what I want to hear. Put John on the spot. I want to hear him answer that question.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
To hear. Or maybe not. Maybe he would have looked over at Jacqueline. You didn't say he was going to ask me this. So how about we give a round of applause to Missy right here? Because Missy played it well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty loyal to a fault, Jeff. I've been loyal the whole game. I'm going to stay loyal. Man, she played her part excellently. So there you go.
And after telling Reed that he lied to her, and then she's going to do that to John and Jacqueline. She's now a true Survivor castaway.
Yes. She finally is playing the game.
She gets it. She gets it.
My wife was for some reason, Connie wants Missy out of the game. I don't know why. I don't know why, but she was all excited yesterday. In fact, she was sick and feeling horrible, and she said, however, Missy's going home tonight, so there's light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, what the heck? I said, what's wrong? Why are you so anxious for Missy to go home? Because she's controlling Baylor too much. She just needs to let Baylor play her game. And also I don't think she liked how she would cover for Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever like Keith would go, Baylor ain't doing nothing around camp,
Yeah.
and she didn't go, yeah, she is. She went, well, or whatever she said. I
She's
don't
my
remember what she
daughter.
said.
Of course I'm
Yeah.
gonna protect her.
Yeah, I'm gonna protect her. I don't make her clean her room either.
I'll do her chores. What chores are you talking about?
Yeah. All right, it's time to vote, man. 2-2-2, and John and Jacqueline are like, man, when that second Jacqueline vote came up, John goes,
She's almost admitted to. I told you so. I
Yeah.
told you.
Jacqueline's sitting there. Yes. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No, that's just it. She just looked at him like, you idiot. You didn't even bring the idol, did you? You didn't even bring the idol. It's sitting back at camp, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Jacqueline, you're marrying the guy. This is the first of many times, maybe not the first, where you're going to go, I told you. I told you. I told you so.
And this
All
time,
right.
not listening cost you $1 million.
Yes, it did. Revote John 3-0, and it
Was it
was
3?
3-0.
Okay, it
Well,
was okay.
They only showed us 2, but if there had been a vote for Jacqueline, they would have showed us that, because that would have shown discord.
Good point.
So Jacqueline or Keith, they would have shown that. Instead, 2-0. It's a 3-0 vote. There you go. Oh yeah, Torch. Sorry, Probst.
Oh, he was hoping if he left that torch over there, he could come back in the game.
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't work. All right, man. That's the show. It was a good one.
It was good. It was really fun. It was a good Natalie show, and I agree on our chat room about it was a good Baylor show. I like Baylor playing with Natalie. I think that's a good better sign of Baylor.
Yeah. This was probably my favorite episode of the season. I really enjoyed the way Natalie controlled it, and I really enjoyed Tribal Council, and I cheered, and it was by far the best episode of the season for me.
I can't disagree with that, because we finally got to see somebody plan a strategy, work the strategy, lose a challenge, rework the strategy. I mean, re-emphasize the strategy, and the strategy worked the way it was supposed to work.
Yeah.
Instead of just something happening out of dumb luck or somebody speaking up when they shouldn't have.
That's right.
Good episode.
Man. Well, I'm looking forward to talking about the finale. It's Sunday night with Matt the Beard, Andy Baker, Jeff Pittman, and hopefully Michael Snow. We're going to have a fun show. We're not going to have a feedback show, so do not leave feedback, but just do it on our Facebook group. All right, facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. And leave your feedback there, and we'll talk about it. There is so much going on our Facebook group right now that I have not caught up with all the conversations.
Yes, there's quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Now, I'm beginning to wonder if Fly 9876 is a woman or a guy, because when you see all caps South Asian girls all the way, makes you wonder if it's a guy. No, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a girl. I'm pretty sure it's a female. She's rooting for Natalie because apparently they're both South Asian girls. So anyway, I saw that and I went, "What guy wrote that?" SouthAsianGirls.com. Anyway, so great episode. Looking forward to Sunday night, y'all. Tune in, 10 o'clock Eastern. We'll be live. Chat room will be open. Y'all can get in there and talk about it while we're talking about it. I'm looking forward to having Jeff Pittman. Now, I realize that he's never been on the show. We almost had him on the show last week with Steve, but he had some conflicts. But Jeff does True Dork Times, and I'm going to tell you something. That site is very well done. A lot of Survivor info, lots of great stuff. Of course, that's where Andy Baker does his weekly blog, The Baker's Dozen. And so I'm really looking forward to having Jeff on the show, and it's going to be fun. The other one, of course, we've had Michael Snow on before. Matt's been on several times, and, of course, Andy Baker, big fan of Andy. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, a very good time. Sunday night live. All right, David. So let's see. What else we got? Shop Amazon. By golly, it's Christmas time. Get your shopping done. stwdd.com/Amazon. By the way, capital A does not work, just a lowercase a.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so iTunes, we don't have any more iTunes reviews. Twitter @Survivor_talk. And you got anything else, David? Do you want to do your final thing about the show? Who do you think is going to win?
I think my stock up went to Natalie because as good as she's been,
yeah.
I think she's on top right now. It's her game to lose.
That's absolutely right.
If she gets in the final, she wins. But I agree with what one of our chat rooms said earlier. She's got to get rid of Keith first. Don't give Keith 2 chances to get to the final 3. You got to get rid of Keith first because if Keith wins this next challenge, then Jacqueline goes, and then it's Baylor, Missy, Natalie, and Keith. And then if Keith wins that one too, then I think Natalie goes. I mean, I just can't see them wanting to keep Natalie if Keith's got the idol around his neck. So, but it's Natalie's to lose, and I wish we'd have gotten more of her earlier, but there wasn't a need to because she wasn't losing. You know, Hunapu was winning.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we started getting her now, and it's funny that the Jeremy boot is what kind of ignited her. You know, I think she's been working before then, obviously, but
Right.
the Jeremy boot gave her a storyline, and it got her this far. So I hope it carries her to the end. She deserves it. Definitely one of the better players at this point.
Yeah. Now, if Missy and Baylor are smart, they'll team up and get Natalie out first, and then Keith, and go to the end with Jacqueline.
Now,
that's what Missy and Baylor need to do.
Who wins that?
Between Missy and Baylor and Jacqueline?
Yeah, there are a lot of good arguments, and I don't mean fighting, but there are a lot of good discussions on our Facebook group about those 3. And,
you know how I'm... Go ahead with the story.
Well, I don't think they respect Baylor because of how young she is, and maybe she is if she is playing like a brat, if she carries on, and if she's been riding Missy's coattails, because Missy's been in with John making plans. She worked with other people, made plans. If she gets credit for any big blindside or moves, then she's going to get more votes. I just don't see Jacqueline the way John portrayed himself in this last tribal council. I think Jacqueline would take some of the brunt for that if she's still in the game. And the fact that she didn't talk to anybody about strategy, she just talked to John, I don't think she gets a lot of support. I think Missy actually wins. I don't know. I'm not listening to a lot of exit interviews. A lot of our friends on Facebook are, so if you want to read those comments, go to our Facebook group. But I just think Missy has a better resume than Baylor, or it could be what Natalie sells to the jury about Baylor if she goes there and supports Baylor, you know. But I just think Missy has a better resume getting with those final 3. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell us about it in our Facebook group. What do you think? Who wins? Jacqueline, Baylor, Missy?
Jacqueline. If Missy and Baylor play their cards right, first of all, they cannot beat Missy and Baylor cannot beat Natalie.
Right.
I don't think they can beat Keith.
No way.
All right. And I think their best chance is Jacqueline. So they've got to go ahead and betray Natalie now.
Yes.
All right, if they can. All right. So let's say they make it to the final 3 with Jacqueline. I think Jacqueline wins because I think Jacqueline can say, look, y'all thought John was doing this great job. All right. Plus she has a vote with John already. Right. You thought John was doing this great job. I was with John a lot of times. But let me tell you what. I saw this coming, and I saw this coming, and John would not listen. I don't know. I just feel like she can go, we weren't always together, but we voted together. I was following him, but I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming.
But what did John do? What's John's resume? What part of his resume is she going to use to say that we did this? Because Reed, I think, took credit for Jeremy's blind side. I mean, because Reed's at Ponderosa right now talking to. See, I don't think the guys at Ponderosa respect John.
So you think they would go Missy then?
I do. I just don't think they'd. Once they're getting to know John now, and John's in shock mode, learning everything at Ponderosa that he didn't know before, which tells me that Jeremy, Josh, and Reed, who love Survivor, are not going to reward somebody like that or their loved one who didn't even know much about the game, who actually went on for Amazing Race, and they're just not going to reward her. That's not who they want to lose to. Okay. I think they'd rather give it to the social gamer who was Missy, who was friends with a lot of people, versus the brat. You know, I'm only saying that's what she's been called. The brat.
It's all about that brat. About that brat.
Yep. And that's hiding behind mom. Yeah. I just don't see Reed wanting to give Baylor a vote. I just think Missy would get the votes.
Okay.
Almost by default.
Okay, but this is what's going to happen. They're going to go to their
Tell
little
us.
speech. They're going to go to their little final talk, and Missy's going to get up and go, you know what, guys? I want you to vote for Baylor. Don't vote for me. Vote for Baylor. And they're all going to go, I ain't going to vote for Baylor. So, but some of them will go, okay, I'll vote for Baylor. They'll get split. Jacqueline will win.
And here's why that's not going to happen.
I know, but still.
Because if Missy was going to do that, she would be asking to be voted off before Final Three so she could work the jury.
That is true. That is true. All right, so let's say, well, I tell you what, we'll work Final Three scenarios on our 200th episode with the guys.
We'll get the experts on.
Because that's, and I'll just sit back and go,
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I will have a little surprise for Sunday night for the 200th episode.
You have a surprise for Sunday night?
Just a little one, yeah. So don't ask me any more about it. It's just something small. It's nothing major.
So I can't say, what is it?
Yeah, you can say that.
What is it?
Tune in Sunday night.
All right. Hey, I posted on my personal Facebook page. By the way, thank you all for listening. We're going to go off a little tangent. I want to talk about what I want for Christmas. And
I want pageant or a tangent?
Tangent. Sorry,
I think you lose.
Jacqueline, I guess.
It's
I'm gonna go off
stuttered.
my little,
Yeah.
little pageant. Oh no. I'm in trouble now. Kathy's going, yeah! Yeah! Well, I'm going to go off on a little tangent to talk about what I want for Christmas. And I want to talk a little Sons of Anarchy finale. All right?
Okay.
So if you haven't watched it yet, then so long, adios. I tell you what, we're going to go what I want for Christmas after the break. I mean, after the end of the show. Okay. And we will talk about the Sons of Anarchy after the music, and I'll let the music be short tonight. Okay. So that's all I got about Survivor. Thanks everybody for listening. You got anything else, David?
No. Natalie goes fourth. Keith wins. That's it.
All right, that's all I got. Oh, sorry, I already said that. See you, everybody.
See ya.
All right, welcome back.
To this world, all
alone. This world. Go ahead, sing it, David. All alone.
Yeah. You told me to sing it, then you.
Well, then you didn't sing it. I'm sorry.
It's the delay. It's the delay.
I know it's the delay. But first, I put on my David. It has been years, literally years. I'm 45 years old. It has been literally years since there has been something that I absolutely want for Christmas.
Yes.
All right? I mean, it has been forever. Usually at Christmas, it's like, what do you want? I have everything. I don't know, buy me a movie, and then I get the Star Wars Sexology or whatever, sextet or whatever it's called when you have 6 movies. And isn't it a sextet?
I don't know. Just stop saying that.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's a term, dude. Chill out.
I think it's sec.
So anyway,
No,
no.
That's not it.
Plus, that will lead into Sons of Anarchy quite well. But anyway, so all right, this is what I want, David. Brookstone. You're familiar with Brookstone?
Yeah.
There is not any other one I want. I want the Brookstone Shiatsu. Is it Shiatsu or Shiatsu? Shiatsu?
Shiatsu? There's a dog.
Yeah, probably Shiatsu. Yeah. Shiatsu foot massager with heat.
Oh, yeah, I did click on that link. I saw that, yeah.
Oh, my. Back in June, I went to Florida with my student choir, and I had to take Connie's iPhone to the Apple store, and there was a Brookstone across the way. And I went and sat, and I was literally getting my feet massaged in this amazing way for about 20 minutes. And it was on sale for 20% off, but I couldn't, I didn't get it, because it's $250, David. That's a lot of money. I don't spend that much money. We don't spend that much money on each other for a Christmas, right? Yeah. So I really, oh, man. So I told Connie the other day, that's all I want. That's all I want. So I thought, I'm going to post it on Facebook. So if anybody's getting me anything, don't give me anything. Just give me some money and say, put this towards your shiatsu foot massage, because it's absolutely what I want for Christmas. So, David, if you get a windfall, you know what to get me.
Gotcha.
That's what I want. No, and y'all, I'm not asking y'all to send me money so I can get a shiatsu foot massager. That's not what I'm doing. I seriously have never wanted anything for Christmas like this since I was a little kid and wanted, the latest Chicago record.
Yeah.
The vinyl record.
So what is wrong with us that we don't have something every year that we want for Christmas? Is it because we're just getting old and we don't need stuff? Because I'm the same way.
I don't need it.
I mean, I'm happy with like a new pan, something to cook with.
A new pan.
I'm serious. I like to replace certain pans and get certain dishes, but my one thing this year is
you get a Pampered Chef magazine in the mail. Yes, Terry, look.
Hey, she found that Pampered Chef stone at that yard sale. I was ecstatic.
I know.
No, my one thing this year is the second continuum of The Walking Dead, which is the second 48 issues. It's that big trade book I read that got me into Walking Dead. I don't have the first one, but I want the second one because I haven't read that yet. So my mom asked me, "What you want?" I said, "How much you spending?" So she told me. I said, "Hey, here's the link." I sent her the link in a text. She goes, "I can't read that." I said,
you want to
Amazon.com/LPEST squared 312. I said, "Mom, don't read it. Click it.
The link, Mom, and then buy it.
It's on my phone. How do I click it?"
Wait a second. You shouldn't have done that because when she buys it using that link.
Knows. No, she knows. She saved it. She wrote down what it was, and then she went in through our link and then put it in the search, found it then, and then bought it.
Yeah, because hey, folks, if you find it that way and add it to your wish list or something, or add it to your cart and then go back, we don't get credit for it because you put it in your cart or wish list.
I've seen her notepad by her computer where she writes down what stuff is, and then she goes to our link and searches for it and finds it.
Oh, your mom is awesome.
My mom,
she's probably the one that buys all the books. We get tons of books.
Yes, well, she's the one that's got the master's in education. She was a principal for a long time, which is why my grades weren't what they should have been. But anyway, but yes, so I'm getting The Walking Dead, the second big volume book.
Awesome.
That's my thing that I want.
Yeah. So my mom and dad will probably send me money.
Mm-hmm.
$50 or something like that.
So are you going to set it up to use it during the podcast?
I'm going to be sitting there going, "Oh, David."
Just keep talking, David. You've got the next 30 minutes to yourself.
I'm not talking to a fan, David.
I know, but you're vibrating with the foot massager.
No, it's not a vibrating massager. It's
What
a
is it?
shiatsu, so it like squeezes your foot, and then the little ball things roll up in on the bottom and stuff.
See, man. You keep saying shiatsu, and you might as well be saying French. I have no idea what that means. Just describe it. It works better. So the next time we do it, you're going to be podcasting like this.
Oh, Dwaine got his massager.
Merry Christmas to Dwaine.
Yeah, I'll be talking. I'll be like, "Okay, now because it feels so good on your feet. You just want, how when you're in like Brookstone and you go sit in the massage chair and you're self-conscious, not only because all my fat starts to wiggle, but also because it feels so good. And you're like, "Oh yes," and you're like, "Okay, this is awkward."
I'm in a mall. I'm having this look on my face.
I'm in the mall getting a massage in front of all these people. All right. Sons of Anarchy, final episode.
Yes.
Was it, David, as good? Let's talk about recent series showstoppers, okay? The furthest one out was Lost. I loved the Lost series finale. All right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the best of the most recent ones. But to me, it was better than Sons of Anarchy's series. How about you for Lost? Is it your favorite?
That's an excellent point that you bring that up because I hadn't thought about that. But I think they're very similar in the sense that they both tied up loose ends without leaving a big explosion or a big climax, a big hill to go over. It's no big answer at the end, but they both tied up loose ends. Of the two, I think I liked Lost better than the Anarchy finale.
All right. Now
I don't know. That's kind of tough, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that the Lost series finale was so. I mean, you either loved it or hated it.
Right.
You know, there's people that hate it, so don't use that to
Right.
judge. So there's at least 2 more. We've got Dexter's series finale, which to me it didn't really satisfy anything. In fact, really, I didn't like the finale of Dexter all that much.
It kind of got weird at the end, and not weird as in not understandable. It's just kind of like, really, it's going this direction, especially when it involved his sister. You know, things about his sister, and I'm like, why? It's like somebody different wrote the end. You know, it's the strength. And if you liked Sons of Anarchy with Jimmy Smits has a season on Dexter, and he is awesome on his season on Dexter.
Great season.
So, I mean, John Lithgow is incredible on his season as Trinity in Dexter. But that last season just seemed different. It just seemed like it was written.
Season.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I would have rather him like died or something than what ended up happening.
Now,
well,
go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I want to give. I'm about to give something away, so use your 15-second ahead button now. I would have liked to have seen him ending up with her and the boy.
The sister or the blonde?
The blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I liked because she fit his personality. They were meant to be together.
Yeah. Skip ahead another 15. Why not go ahead and let them end together? Let them go to the beach. You know, some place where they can't get taken away.
It was just weird. Now, see, a show that did end really well, which I don't think you've seen, is Breaking Bad.
You don't think I've seen that?
Did you see that? Yes, you did catch up on it, did you? Okay.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. I apologize, I couldn't remember because
that's the best.
We've really talked about so many shows here lately. That is how you end a show.
By far, best ever series ending.
Now let me ask you this: was that easier? Was that easier, more acceptable because it had less storylines? We're talking about Walt and the other guy, Aaron Paul, whereas Sons of Anarchy had about 8 storylines going on. Lost had 15 storylines going on. You know, to answer, was it easier and better made because it was basically following one storyline at the end? I think it's because the last 5 or 6 episodes, the whole last season of Breaking Bad was just really good TV. You know, it was, the storyline was similar to the first season. It wasn't the exact same, but it matched. It worked at the end, and I really, really enjoyed that finale.
I almost think Sons of Anarchy ended too cleanly. And no, I know there was a lot of blood and a lot of people getting killed.
Like, clean's a good word. I understand what you're saying. Clean is a good word to describe how that ended.
They wrapped it up and bowed just perfectly. Everything's going to be great. The little boys aren't going to grow up to be like Daddy, and Marcus is gone, and now
the club has all of its members in one piece, and they're all happy.
And the club now welcomes black people into their club, and which is odd. They allowed Asians and Hispanics, but they didn't allow. I don't know why they did that, but anyway. So it's just all, it's just kind of all too much of a package. I don't think that's real.
I completely agree. It's like Jax had a bucket list to check off, and he got everything done that he wanted to get done before he went off and killed people in broad daylight in front of witnesses.
Yeah,
and got away with all that.
Yeah. You're on the court, and you're not even on the courthouse. Marcus was, it is Marcus, right?
Yes, August Marks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. August Marks was being released from jail. So you were in front of the jail.
Yeah.
But I think they made it look more like a courthouse. You stand on the courthouse, you shoot 2 people dead, and no cops come up? No one stops you?
I think what they did was they took him to court to release him, but I completely agree. He's out there in broad daylight.
Yeah.
And gets away with 2, and then he walks into Borowski's deli.
that was
like the EW review says, he finally had customers, and then he actually shoots people.
Yeah, really. He's never had a customer in there ever.
No.
And then, of course, all the Irish are going to be okay. That's going to work out. I don't know. Everything just cleaned up too well.
See, that's what made the show good, though, is that when they said, we got to get the Mayans to work with the Niners. Saying it's one thing, but watching it work out in dramatic fashion is really good. And now they're just saying, oh, don't worry about the Irish because our guys over there are going to take care of that. Oh, that's going to take a lot of taking care of. You know, to take out the rest of the kings. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
It was just it was a lot to take in one episode. It was still good. It's over, but
okay. Let me ask you
completely
this.
agree with you. It was a very clean episode, which was odd.
Did you think they were about to shoot him? Even for a split second, did you think?
Yes.
Okay, I did too. I thought they're going to shoot him.
Would you have preferred that or him leaving the way he did?
I preferred them shooting him.
I did. I would have too.
Because I'm sorry, but the OJ style police chase was just sure, lots of great symbolism, but
that was his way of not putting the guilt on them, not putting the burden on them, obviously, you know. And like I said, we were talking about it with I guess on our Facebook string, that it almost seemed like it was a symbolism of him redirecting everybody's focus away from the club, away from his sons, away from Charming, taking them out somewhere else, following him, and then he just goes in a poof. And then they're just stuck with nothing to chase.
Right.
So.
And based on how they ended it, it's not like he planned to have a head-on collision with the truck. You know, he was just.
I think he was. I think he was looking for something to run into. I think he was waiting for something. Yeah, not necessarily a truck driven by Michael Chiklis, but you know, but you know, a truck
who just happened to be the one that carried Gemma up north.
Exactly.
Yeah, but. Nah, I mean, you watch the lines going by the police cars, and they're literally going like 15 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, by that point, it was almost like, don't shoot him, don't run him off the road. He'll run out of gas, and then we'll bring him in. That's kind of what it felt like.
And yet, and I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but it did bother me that you have one police car at the back that pulls out to pull ahead. Why? If they are literally just following him until he runs out of gas, then just get in your straight line and follow him, you know. But I don't know. It just seemed
each officer wanted to get on the camera, so they had to drive up and get on camera.
Yeah. And what's with the symbolism of the bread? And it happened a couple of times whenever he sees the homeless girl that we've seen in several seasons. I still don't know what her deal was. Was she supposed to be like an angel or something?
I'm not sure.
There's what looks like communion. There's like a wine and there's bread on the and they focus in on that. And then at the end of the show, the blood goes to a piece of bread, so you have the blood and the bread. Again, communion.
Yes. Did she ever talk to anybody else? Do you recall?
I talked to Gemma earlier on in the
I thought so too. That's the only person I could remember. Gemma saw. I don't know if she talked to Gemma, but Gemma definitely saw her and made eye contact with her.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was deaf. I wonder if she was there saying, "Hey, I'm here. Your time's coming, or it's almost time," and that's why she told Jax, "It's time.
Yeah,
you know, it's time for this to end." I wonder if she was only appeared to those that were going to be dying. I don't think we're ever going to get that explained. Obviously.
Well, it'd be interesting is if you went back and watched the series and tried to figure out what she was there for.
Do you recall her coming in any other seasons other than this last one?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was in other seasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Maybe Clay saw her before he took the bullet.
No, and it's not she saw you right before she died because she saw Gemma. That's why Gemma recognized her, because Gemma saw her at other times, and so had Jax.
Did Gemma see her before her accidents? Maybe she was supposed to die and she didn't? Did she see her before she rode off with Juice and pulled a gun on Juice and Juice almost killed her?
No. I'm talking earlier seasons.
Oh, earlier seasons. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I was disappointed with the whole last season of Sons of Anarchy. You know.
See, but I wasn't. That part I wasn't. I liked him going all Michael Corleone and just starting to go back to business, and that's when he realized what he was doing is what destroyed his family and his life.
Yeah.
So that's why he got rid of the white shoes that made him look like an angel, but he wasn't because they were always covered in blood. They should have always been, and put his dad's boots on and just said, "All right, I understand what I've done now, and I need to be done with it."
Well, the whole episode where he kills his mom, I was just screaming at the TV, "Forgive her." Why not just go ahead and forgive her and let the story... I mean, is he really so far gone that he can't forgive his mom?
I think it was a thing of control, and if he let her go, then she would have some sort of mental control on him that he couldn't even do that. That's what it is. You only get one shot. You only get one shot.
I don't know.
But it was
so powerful though.
Forgive her for what?
for killing his wife and then lying and causing all the problems.
I was gonna say there's a list of what he'd have to forgive her for.
Well, I know
just
that,
Tara.
but
I mean, it was Bobby, and it was a bunch of other things. But I mean, gangs are gone because of Gemma's lie. You know,
there are no more Chinese in the world.
Yes. I mean, he lost employees, he lost friends, gang members. He lost a lot of people because she lost control.
Okay, well, let me say this: the more severe the hurt and the damage, the more powerful the forgiveness. I'm just saying.
But it would have made him look weak to the other gang members. I think. I just think he couldn't. I think because of their code, he could not do it.
Well, that's sad.
It is sad.
I was just. I mean, and I realized maybe it wouldn't have been Sons of Anarchy then. But what if he had had a change? You know, what if he had said, you know, Mom, I'm not going to kill you, but I forgive you.
It's fun. It's odd because for
kill herself or something.
Yeah, for 6 seasons, we're waiting for the MC to go legit because that's all he talks about for 6 seasons is taking the MC legit, and then he runs into this last season where everything breaks loose, and at the end he has a chance to forgive her, and he just can't. And it's a shame, but he actually it's almost like he realizes I was meant for this bad life. I am a criminal. I'm a murderer, and that's just who I am.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
No.
But I don't want to get into all that. But I'm just saying.
No,
at the time I was watching it, I was thinking, okay, I could see how this show could end with him finding the ability to forgive. He ends up with his wife. He ends up with his kids, you know, and he leaves the MC and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Everybody probably would have hated it.
I thought he would have let them disappear, is what my initial thought was. I didn't necessarily think he was going to be gone. I wanted him to be gone because I felt that's what the story needed.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was a bunch of check marks, a lot of emotional scenes, him standing outside and saying, I got this, just like Opie did before he took that one. Just a lot of things got checked off. Okay, he said this. All right, he did this. He rode his dad's bike. He did this. He did this. He said goodbye to Chucky. You know, all this kind of stuff. I just hope the Justified finale is a little bit better than this one, which I think it will be because it focuses on one person with some other.
No, that show I have not. I've not seen Justified.
And Tig's friend. He is a major part of Justified.
Now, is he like a man in Justified?
Yeah, Walter Goggins. He is a man, and he is the anti-hero of Justified.
So all that stuff we see on Sons of Anarchy, that's all like makeup?
Oh, fake.
And prosthetics?
Fake. Yes.
Wow. Kathy's radar is going berserk, is what you're saying.
Yes. All fake.
All right, y'all. Those
Anything
of you
else?
that hung around. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I mean, it was a good series. To be honest with you, it was a little not crass. It was a little raw. It was too raw at some points for me.
It was. It kept going to certain places that it didn't have to go to all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to see two people having sex. You know, I don't have to see that.
Yeah.
But it was. It kind of got to the point where I finished watching it because I wanted to know what was going to happen.
Right.
You know. So, but anyway, I won't watch it again. I would probably watch, and I wouldn't watch Dexter again. Right. I might watch like episodes every now and then, but I wouldn't like go back and watch it again.
I could watch a season or two of Dexter again, but not the whole thing. Definitely not the last season.
Yeah, I could probably watch the Trinity season.
The Trinity and the Jimmy Smith season. I could definitely watch those.
I could definitely watch Breaking Bad from the beginning.
I could watch Breaking Bad and Lost again.
I'm not quite ready to watch Lost again yet, which is kind of weird because it's been over for a little while.
Didn't you start watching it again?
I started to, and I just wasn't ready yet.
See, I can watch the opening scene almost every other day. It's so good, that first scene.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't watched Lost since the finale, so it's been a while.
Yeah. And my boys are like, let's watch it again. I'm just not ready yet. Plus, it's a huge commitment. I mean, that's a lot.
No kidding. It's a long summer.
Yeah. A lot. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging around.
Yep.
See you later.
See ya.